Hey, Jaime Kalman Chipko here, and I wanted to share with you a little bit of Jamie magic today in the form of a very personal share. I wanted to read something to you that I had written that was a way of me not just confronting my fear, but relating to my fear in a very different way. And I'll give you a little bit of background about what this is about. I had I love the writer Elizabeth Gilbert. I think she's amazing. You know, she's got, what is it, big magic and, creativity, living creatively beyond fear, eat, pray, love. Anyway, she's amazing. And her talks are so good. She's so good. Oh my God, she's such an amazing speaker. She's just so soothing and so real and funny and just so powerful and moving and poetic, and I just love her. She's so relatable. Anyway, I was listening to a talk of hers about living creatively through fear and dealing with fear, and how we can have a relationship with our fear that doesn't require us to not share ourselves and our gifts and our treasures with the world, but to instead acknowledge the fear and, ask it what it wants us to know, why it's there, what it's trying to, protect us from exactly. And then that we can write back to our fear in the form of a letter that, thanks our fear for being there, but also expresses what our ground rules are as we're, beginning to embark on a creative project that we know historically our fear might come up and stop us as we're trying to do it. Fear can interfere that way. And so I loved this talk that I heard her do, and it made such a difference for me because I have often stopped myself from sharing things publicly because, just for fear of being judged or being embarrassed or, people in my family seeing it and being like, why are you being such a weirdo talking about all this personal stuff on YouTube? you know, um, just it's always a vulnerable feeling to share yourself, but it's also part of my commitment to the work I do is to share myself authentically. And I do feel that part of my purpose is, that of like a spiritual storyteller, in that I love to use the experiences of my life as, stories of connection or inspiration or motivation. It's just a way for me to connect with people and help them make sense of their own life and help them choose how they want to show up to their life. And maybe if they hear my stories and realize that I'm just a normal person, I'm not a guru, or a prophet or anything super duper special. But they can see how, an ordinary life can be quite extraordinary if you're paying attention and learning from it. I don't know. I just like to see how the experiment of my life touches and maybe helps the lives of others. So that's where I'm coming from on this. Okay. And I also wanted to mention that these videos are purposefully imperfect because I've been working diligently over the past year and a half to completely just transform my perfectionism tendencies. And these videos are purposely kind of all over the place and off the cuff and, shot with an iPhone, and the lighting's not perfect. And oftentimes I'm not even dressed. Hair isn't done, makeup's not done, any of that. I did pull that off today. But that's not always the case, as you'll see if you peruse my channel. But the point is, I just like to be able to get content out there. It's better for me to share authentically than it is for me to share perfectly. And if I wait for the conditions in my life to be all green lights, I will never make a video because it just doesn't happen that way. Okay, so this is a share from something that I wrote when I was facing my fear around a project that I was working on. Okay, so there was something that I wanted to do creatively that I just would not allow myself to do. Kept finding a million reasons not to do it. And I finally took Elizabeth Gilbert's advice and I sat down and I let fear talk to me. I listened to my fears. I found out exactly what it was that was blocking me from wanting to do this project and what that self-sabotage was all about. And then I wrote a letter to my fear. And here's what I wrote. Dear fear, thank you for sharing all the ways that you're trying to protect me. You are so good at your job, and I am alive today because of you. So I respect the job you do and how well you do it. Believe me, your efforts are not going unnoticed. I have consistently listened to you for many years as to why I should not even try to begin this project, and I feel that I have obeyed you for long enough. I have listened to your concerns today with an open heart and an open mind. Thank you for wanting to protect me from these things that I agree would be hurtful, scary, disappointing, perhaps embarrassing, humiliating, and even devastating. However, I have noticed that whenever creativity comes to play, before I get the chance to even open the door and invite it in, you bolt all the locks and chain the door closed. And I want you to know, fear, that this time I choose to let creativity in. You are no longer allowed to decide whether or not I can open the door to my creativity and invite her in so that I can engage with my beloved creativity, which is the gift from my Creator, the divine treasure that has been bestowed upon me from my divine and creative source. Of course, you are part of this family of feelings that dwells inside of my body and exists amongst the galaxy of stars in the universe of my mind. But my mind is infinitely part of the universal mind. And as much as I do want to be safe, I want to co-create with the universe and breathe my gifts into the world so that I don't die with my song unsung in my heart. I want that more than I want to be safe, as it turns out. This matters to me, this project that creativity and I are about to engage in. And while I know that my friend creativity scares the shit out of you, I do believe that once you get to know her, you will find that she is actually quite lovely and the two of you can work together quite well. So here's the deal, fear. Creativity and I are doing this. However, I will be the mediator between the two of you. I will listen both to you with an open mind and an open heart. But when it comes to doing the work, fear, you may be present, but you are not allowed to be the decision maker, the scribe, the typist, the editor, the author, the illustrator, the marketer, nor are you allowed to have the final say in any of my creative choices. My promise to you is that you will be heard. But the understanding that you and I will have from now on is that although I may hear you and understand you, I do not have to do what you say. And this is because I have divine guidance that I can follow after I've listened to what you have to share so that I can take your concerns, but I can follow my angels. I am willing to remember that my gifts have a divine right to be here, to be brought into this world and shared. Fear belongs. Fear belongs in this world. But my creative voice belongs too. There is someone who needs this project in the world. There is someone who needs to read it. I look forward to diving into this project, and I dedicate it to the truth, which is the memory that I had forgotten that says that I have a divine entitlement, as we all do, a divine place in this world to leave behind the specks of stardust that were created within me by my Creator to help light the way for my fellow humans and their children, so that we may find our way back to the light by seeing the light that is already within us. So here's to the light within you, and I hope that you give yourself permission today to get in touch with that light and share that light, because there is someone out there who needs it. And if fear of being judged or looking bad or failing is keeping you from sharing your light, then maybe try writing a letter to that fear. See what you get. It's powerful stuff. I am wishing you a day full of magic. And again, if you're interested in learning more about living creatively, definitely check out that Elizabeth Gilbert, because man, she's good stuff. She's good stuff. All right. Enjoy the videos that you'll find here on the Jamie Magic playlist here on YouTube. And you can also visit me on Facebook at Inspired Healing and Awareness. And I look forward to hearing all about your creative journeys. Be well.